Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Friday, the 29th of May. This is CTV News. Tonight, a seasonal switch up. Warm weather takes a hike as May winds down. What happens to an Indigenous land claim now that the Supreme Court won't hear the case? And Find the Bag Halifax sends Maritimers on a scavenger hunt for cash.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. 3 weeks before the start of summer, today's weather felt, frankly, like a cruel joke. It was unseasonably cold in much of the region, and some areas actually got snow. All of this as tourism season is ramping up. Here's CTV's Stephanie Seacos.
It may not look or feel like it, but it's nearly the end of May. It was cold, rainy, and windy along the Halifax waterfront. It wasn't nearly as busy as it would have been if the weather was warmer, but those braving the boardwalk were making the most of their trip, even if they didn't plan to be here.
We were supposed to be in Germany, but our flight got canceled, and so we got a hotel here and we stayed the night.
While Halifax saw wet weather, it was a different story in Cape Breton. Spring flowers were covered in snow in Sydney, a rare sight this late in the season. The month of May hasn't been the nicest, so it may be a surprise that some tourism operators actually saw record-breaking numbers.
Everybody would obviously prefer warm summer weather all year round in most cases, but for a lot of people, they don't have flexibility on when they're going to be here. You have to plan your trips long in advance. So we find that there's a lot of people that they want to make the best of it no matter what the weather is.
It's a similar story for this tour and adventure company, where all it took was a few nice days.
Definitely the best opening week that we've had in the business in general.
Even on a cool day like this, people were heading out on the water to do some fishing.
Fishing is definitely an activity that tends to go out whenever the weather is gloomier. It tends to be limited a little depending on the wind, waves, etc. That said, definitely one of the things that could be a checkbox item where it's like, the weather's not that good, well, what can we do?
As for this family here from Nashville, they plan to make their short stop in the city a memorable one.
We're going to take a little tour of the water on one of those amphibious boats and just kind of enjoy our day.
Stephanie Seacos, CTV News, Halifax.
It has been a deadly day on New Brunswick roads. 2 people have died following a crash on the Princess Margaret Bridge in Fredericton. The 2-vehicle collision involved a transport truck. Happened this morning. Police say 2 females in the car died at the scene. A third was transported to hospital along with the truck driver. The bridge was closed for several hours but has since reopened. The investigation there is ongoing. 54-year-old man from Hammonds Plains, Nova Scotia has died after being struck by a transport truck in Moncton. This happened on Route 2 just before 3 o'clock this morning. Police say the victim was already dead when officers arrived. The truck driver was not injured. Investigators are asking potential witnesses or anyone with relevant dash cam video to come forward and share it. An elderly inmate has died at the Spring Hill Institution. Corrections Canada says the 78-year-old died Tuesday but offered no further details except to say the inmate had been serving a life sentence that began in March of 2003. The agency says it is reviewing the circumstances of the death.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
The father of a man who died at the hands of a Halifax bouncer says new government regulations for the sector are good news but don't go far enough. Scott Sawyer's son Ryan died after being placed in a chokehold outside a Halifax bar in December of 2022. The bouncer involved, Alexander Levy, was recently handed a 4-year sentence after being convicted of manslaughter and criminal negligence. Although he's appealing the sentence, the province has now tightened the rules for security staff.
If your staff are going to be, acting as agents of the property, enforcing rules and so on and so forth, I mean, it would only make sense, I think, that they would have criminal background checks done.
I applaud them for doing what that needed to be done. It had to be done, obviously, considering the tragedies that are going on and especially around the Halifax area in the bars and the restaurants.
Still, Sawyer believes his son might still be alive if the rules were in place 4 years ago. The approval of a new gas plant by New Brunswick's Energy Review Board has conservationists seeing red tonight. The facility planned for Tantramar will also sell power to neighboring Nova Scotia. CTV's Derek Haggett has details and reaction tonight.
Terry Jones and her husband Gord live a few hundred meters away from where a proposed natural gas power plant could be built. They both don't see their potential new neighbor as a benefit to the community at all.
The emissions, the draw on the water, the noise pollution, the light pollution, the extra traffic on a road that's not fit to handle that type of traffic.
The New Brunswick Energy and Utilities Board has approved NB Power's proposed natural gas plant project just outside Sackville. The 500 megawatt plant to be built by an American company was first announced last summer. It's expected to be operational by 2028 at a cost of around $1 billion. The executive director of the nearby Atlantic Wildlife Institute thinks it'll be an environmental and public health catastrophe.
It will do far more damage than it will do good to the community, to New Brunswickers, to the environment here in relationship to what it's going to damage in our Chignecto Isthmus.
The local MLA says the EUB's approval is just one step.
This isn't over. The Minister of Environment could reject the environmental impact assessment or could require a comprehensive one.
What I find interesting about it is they're going to be using natural gas, which we're going to be importing from somewhere else at a higher cost than we would be able to get right here at home under our feet in New Brunswick. So, I think NB Power's backed against the wall on this.
While it may seem like a done deal to some, it's not to those living next door.
Well, the fight's never over, not until that plant is open and running.
An environmental impact review still needs to be completed before shovels go into the ground. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Centre Village, New Brunswick.
Motorists in St. John are heading into what will be a pretty challenging time. A growing port and pulp and paper mill will combine to create some growing gridlock in the city for a while anyway. Starting next week, dozens of oversized cargo shipments will lead to some oversized traffic problems. The movement's expected twice daily between 6 and 7 a.m. and again between 1:30 and 2:30 in the afternoons, Monday to Friday. The cargo will require a police escort and present parking problems, so the city is asking folks not to park on impacted streets. Those who do might wind up getting towed away. Halifax Harbor Ferries back on schedule tonight. The regular 15-minute runs resumed during the noon hour today. It's a bit of a surprise. The service has been plagued by service interruptions, with one boat after another breaking down and needing repairs. But with the return to service of the Christopher Stanix today, 4 ferries are now in service and running on schedule. One of Canada's oldest food banks is facing an increasingly big problem.
The Berwick Food Bank opened in 1987, and he doesn't recall ever being targeted like this before. Both doors have been damaged by thieves, the side door needing to be forfeited. In one case, the deadbolt was beaten out of place for vandals to gain entry, who then
proceeded to steal, in our opinion, probably 3 cartfuls of groceries. There's no other way to describe it than very awful, very dreadful.
The food bank serves about 40 families per week. Between stolen food and replacing a steel door, he figures they're out more than $2,000.
I've retrieved 5 grocery carts from the woods. They come into our operation. They know what's in there now. They come in, they take, they run it over to the trail. Somebody perhaps is meeting them on the trail.
Police have been called each time. A security system has been installed and cameras are coming, but they're not alone. Other businesses have been targeted too, including the Scotia Gold Country Store in nearby Coldbrook. The food bank says the building's owners have been very supportive. The landlord tells me this is a heartbreaking situation and believes the uptick in crime is a result of a lack of affordable housing, mental health and addiction supports, and says more resources are needed. Callum Smith, CTV News, Berwick, Nova Scotia.
Quite a sight in the Halifax waterfront today, a huge French naval ship. The FS Dixmude, a Mistral-class amphibious assault ship that dropped by for a port visit, is dominating the scenery down there. The vessel can play several roles, including acting as a floating command platform. It can carry helicopters, armored vehicles, and 600 personnel. The ship is on a 5-month voyage that began in February. Still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll tee up the IWK telethon, which kicks off on this network on Sunday. Coming up next, though, landlocked. What happens to an Indigenous land claim now that the Supreme Court won't hear the case? We'll look for answers when we come back.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
They stay with us all weekend long as the IWK Radiothon continues.
Your donation supporting the greatest areas of needs at the IWK.
Well, we mentioned this last night. The Supreme Court of Canada will not hear an appeal by a New Brunswick First Nation to include private property in a land title claim. This comes after a BC court recently awarded private land to a First Nation. It's all a very murky kind of issue. Here's CTV's Nick Moore.
The Supreme Court of Canada's decision to reject an appeal on the ruling of an ownership claim by the Wolastoqey First Nations means private industrial forest land will remain excluded from an ownership claim by the First Nations, effectively upholding a decision by the New Brunswick Court of Appeal in favor of logging companies. In a statement last night, Madawaska Chief Patricia Bernard said, quote, "The fight for our homeland will continue," noting peace and friendship treaties signed in the 1700s made no mention of land or water.
Essentially, our arguments are what the court found in New Brunswick.
The government of British Columbia is looking to appeal a landmark ruling last August from BC Supreme Court, which found that the Cowichan tribes have Aboriginal title over a portion of land in Richmond along the Fraser River.
I think it gives us a clear path to an appeal here in BC, and we're continuing to pursue that.
Dalhousie University legal scholar Wayne McKay says that is certainly one interpretation of the Supreme Court's decision.
But that's not the only interpretation. There's other reasons that they might deny leave. For example, it might be that they feel they may want to wait until there is an appeal from the British Columbia situation and the Cowichan situation and deal with the issue on a full record of 2 cases rather than 1.
Meaning it is a legal matter that will continue to be watched across the country. Nick Moore, CTV News, Fredericton.
Okay, thank you, Nick. We'll step aside for a quick little break here, but when we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. It's been quite a roller coaster this week, huh? Kaylin has all the details when we come back. Okay, it's Friday night, and I had to triple check that it is, in fact, the 29th day of May, because you know why.
Because of the temperatures?
And the snow.
And the snow that was seen in Cape Breton, not widespread across the Maritimes, but I did receive many pictures from people in Cape Breton reporting that snowfall. The record for Sydney for May 29th for a snowfall is 7 centimeters of snow, and that happened on May 29th, 1941. The airport today reported 6 centimeters of snow, so it got pretty close. But there was a lot of melt of that snow around areas of Cape Breton as well. As we moved through the day, temperatures were hovering around just above 0, and there was also some rain mixed in for some areas. It was a combination of a slow-moving low-pressure system making its way past Sable Island, wrapping back rain and in some cases wet snow towards eastern parts of the Maritimes, and the wet snow result of some colder air that's been pooled aloft of us. It's going to be hanging around for the upcoming weekend. So for tonight, around the Maritime region, a lot of cloud cover for all 3 Maritime provinces. The rain in the east is winding down, but there may be some patchy drizzle or patchy showers around parts of the southeast northeast New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and the north and east of Nova Scotia to start the day. For tomorrow, for the afternoon hours, it remains mostly cloudy with a low chance of a few showers drifting through the southwest of New Brunswick. Temperatures are going to be cool to chilly. The cloud cover's around for Saturday evening and Saturday night, and Sunday's going to be a mostly cloudy day, and near the end of the day on Sunday, there'll be a chance of showers around eastern areas of Nova Scotia. Winds out of the north and northeast for tonight and for tomorrow. They will be sustained 10 to 20 kilometers per hour with some gusts between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight around the region will be falling down to around the low to mid single digits, especially on the chilly side if the cloud cover breaks up a little bit, right around the northwestern corner of New Brunswick, where some of the lows could fall down pretty close to the freezing mark, and there are some frost advisories in effect for that part of the Maritimes. Now, high temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow for communities in the north of New Brunswick between 10 and 16 degrees, with central and southern areas of New Brunswick with high temperatures mostly between 9 and 12 and coolest around Moncton and the southeast. These temperatures, of course, far below averages for the last part of May. Prince Edward Island for tomorrow, it's going to be a chilly day. High temperature 6 to 8 degrees. It'll be mostly cloudy. There'll be a low chance of a shower. And a low chance of a shower, a little bit of patchy drizzle for eastern areas of Nova Scotia, where the high temperatures on Saturday will be between 6 and 9. In northern and central parts of the province, high temperatures between 7 and 11 degrees, mostly cloudy, breezy northeast wind. And in the southwest of Nova Scotia, mostly cloudy, but if the cloud cover does break up a little bit to give some peaks of sunshine, it'll be right around the southwest. And high temperatures tomorrow between 9 and 12. Taking a look at the extended outlook, beginning first with the province of New Brunswick. Cloudy conditions continue for the end of the weekend on Sunday. The high temperatures will be around the mid-teens, mid to high teens, though, on Monday, the mix of sun and cloud. So things starting to look a little bit better at the start of next week. That'll be followed by a chance of showers on Tuesday, and then things really start looking improved for the Maritimes when it comes to temperatures Wednesday onward. That's when they should begin to rise, which we hope they would do, considering we will be into the month of June. And for the province of Nova Scotia, coming up for the end of the weekend on Sunday, it's mostly cloudy. The highest chance of showers will be late in the day and around eastern areas of the province, including Cape Breton. Cloudy periods in the forecast for Monday with high temperatures around the low to mid-teens. There's a chance of showers Tuesday and Wednesday, but temperatures rising Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. And for Prince Edward Island, the end of the weekend on Sunday, cloudy periods, high temperatures near 11 degrees, up to around 12 on Monday, and then 16 degrees on Tuesday. And after that, high teens, low 20s. That looks possible for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. Bruce.
Okay, thank you, my friend. We'll step aside for a quick little moment here, but stay with us. There is more to come.
#1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
So one of our favorite events of the year kicks off tomorrow. The IWK Telethon for Children promises to entertain, pull at your heartstrings, and raise much-needed funds. And as always, we here at CTV Atlantic are delighted to be part of the fundraising with our partners over at the IWK Foundation. CTV's Brianne Foley has a preview tonight.
The IWK Telethon for Children continues to drum up donations in time and money from Maritimers.
The telethon is such a big part of this community because people have been involved for over 30 years with CTV and 42 with the telethon. And people continue to show up year after year with incredible donations to help the IWK.
The IWK is built by the community. It's theirs. And every year they tune in, they log on, they listen, and they see themselves in what they've helped build.
For those who work tirelessly on the show, the children's stories give them motivation.
It is 6 months of pretty detailed work, but a year of planning. The IWK is the center of excellence for children in this region. So people may not think they need the IWK, but they're happy to support it because, of course, you're helping children.
Ava, who had scoliosis and had massive surgery, is now playing. She won her provincial. She wants to play in the Professional Women's Hockey League and play for Canada. These kids dream really big.
Dream Big was inspired by Renee Smith, a perfect theme for the cause.
I was involved with some of the patient stories, and these kids
They know they know exactly what's wrong. They can pronounce all those big names. They all dream big. Like every single one of those children, they'll tell you exactly what they're going to be doing when they're a certain age.
Every dollar counts and makes a difference. Brianne Foley, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Brianne. Well, time for one final break tonight. Coming up, free money in Halifax. No joke. Details are next. First, though, it is your wake-up weather. Here's a live look at Charlottetown on this rainy, cold Friday night. 5 degrees right now there. Kaylin's wake-up coming up next. Saturday morning now upon us. Let's kick it off with a look at the wake-up weather from Kaylin Mitchell.
And like many of the mornings this week, tomorrow morning or Saturday morning is going to be a chilly one. Lots of cloud cover around the Maritimes. There may be a few patchy showers, a little bit of patchy drizzle. Moving into the afternoon, it remains mostly cloudy for all 3 Maritime provinces. A lot of the high temperatures tomorrow in eastern parts of the region, so Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, the east of New Brunswick be around the mid to high single digits, and then in western parts of the Maritimes, some of those high temperatures getting up between about 10 and 14 degrees. Bruce.
All right, thank you, Kaylin. Have a good weekend. Well, not much in life, as we know, is free these days, but a mystery couple is trying to change that. As CTV's Mike Lamb shows us tonight, they are giving away cold, hard cash. The only catch? You have to find the bag.
On Facebook, I had seen a few cash drop videos.
Essentially, we put cash, old bills, old coins, put it all in a bag. Spend lots of time on Google Maps looking at parks, and we just head out into the city for our adventure and go hide the bag.
It all started when we were in Quebec City. We said we really enjoyed it, and we wanted to be able to enjoy our own city the same way we enjoyed Quebec. We just didn't know how to do that, and people can have the joy of getting around to enjoying the city and something exciting to really bring them out to do it. We always try to make it somewhere safe, accessible with parking. We don't want anybody, going out and rushing around getting hurt by trying to find one of our bags where we're trying to, show some joy around the community. Typically $25, $30. My thing is putting in the old bills. Everybody really loves to see the old $1 and $2 bills. Yes, they are in fact real.
For me, it brings such an adrenaline rush and so much joy to see the community come together. It's like such a simple idea, but people love it and enjoy it. It's the joy for me.
Oh my God! Oh, I'm super excited. We've tried basically the other couple times it was in Sackville, and there was one at Paper Mill Lake as well that my husband tried to find. So this was very unexpected and a great surprise for sure. Threw the kids in the car and ran.
So many messages through Facebook and Instagram saying how it's kind of got them off the butt during the winter and out and enjoying parks and nature and really got them out of their funk. So it's been great.
Cool idea, eh? Okay, so that is your late news for this Friday night. A reminder, if you joined us late, you'd like another look at anything you've seen, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It is your home for news, and it updates all weekend long. I'm Bruce Frisco. We're going to leave you the names tonight of all the people here at Bell Media. Have yourself a good night and a great weekend. And don't forget to tune in to the IWK telethon as well. See you again on Monday.